Good morning. Thank you for coming out here. This is a great dedication for the Bob Vose family, and in Springfield, that's what it's all about. But long before there was Springfield Green or beautification, we have individual champions in our community, and one that I point to a lot is Bob Vose. Actually, when he adopted this area as Bob Vose Park, and actually the corridor that leads into Monument Avenue, I was in my banking career. I believe you were an alderman, and maybe even before then. And he raised a lot of the money for the light posts and everything of that nature. So he adopted this area, and that's what we're here to celebrate, is that tradition that he had started, and what we want to thank him for with regards to that. And before I get to that point in time, I'd like to introduce Mike Lellis, who's known Bob Vose for a long time, and I'd ask him to come up. He's the former director of Oak Ridge Cemetery, and he looks the part because he's nice and relaxed. He's retired now, but he's done a great job with Oak Ridge Cemetery, and I'd like him to say a few words about today's dedication. So, Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't think the public or the general community knows how dedicated to Oak Ridge Cemetery Bob Vose has been over many, many years. As the mayor mentioned, the Monument Avenue improvement was all due to all of his efforts. And up until the day I retired, and I'm sure even up until today, Bob makes his daily treks through the cemetery, checks things out to make sure everything's in proper order. I've known the family for a long time. His children went to St. Joseph's School when I was principal there, and Bob has always been community-minded and oriented. So it's a great honor for me to be able to share this day with you, Bob, and I wish you all the best.
Well, thank you, Mike. And before we do the unveiling, I should point out that we do have a group of volunteers, aside from the City Public Works Department under Nate Bottom's direction, and Jeff Ream, our arborist. Larry Rockford and CWLP have helped with the development, but on the volunteer side, Huck Beach and Joe McCarthy have done a lot with this area, as well as Todd Renfro with the regards to the Springfield Green Initiative. So in the spring, Bob, it'll look a lot better. I was teasing Bob, if I was the landscape person in charge all year round, this is what it would look like. But actually, Huck Beach is a great person, and we've seen his work on Sangamon Avenue. He did some landscape out that direction near St. Al's, but it does, due to the volunteers and the efforts of the city, that we're able to spruce up the park that you actually started. And that's what it's all about. How do we build on the efforts of those that have came before us? And you're definitely one of those. But everybody would know Bob Vose for another, in the family, of course, Vose family, for one other reason. I bought another memento, and I saw these from Cardologists, a free plug for Cardologists. I thought of you, Bob. So I bought these, especially on a cold day. These are hot socks with corn dogs. And you have the best, believe me. So with that, would you like to say any words before we do the unveiling?
Well, I'm just glad I'm in good enough health. I'm just a young man yet. And when I was elected alderman, and I only lived 2 blocks from here, and there was no signage or anything going to the tomb, very little. And my project at first was to improve Monument Avenue, and I was able to raise them. We raised over $1.5 million to put in all the ornamental lighting and the banners. All these banners and decorations or flowers. We always raised enough money to pay for it. We're not in debt, and we don't do anything unless we got the money. So that's my theory, and I'm still working, and I just hope someday that I can hit the lottery and I can put that metal fence back around the cemetery like it was 100 years ago. So that's my goal. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but I just appreciate the help I get, and I'm just going to keep going until the dear Lord takes me. And I just hope that I still have several years to live. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'd ask his family come up to do the unveiling.
Need some mud tires on there.
That's right. The driver.
I'll let them there. Ready. My name is Bob Vose, and I've lived in this area for 64 years. When I was elected as Alderman, I got to redo Lincoln, the entrance to Lincoln's tomb. That's one of the biggest tourisms in Springfield. In fact, that's all we got. And there's like in the spring, there's over 40 to 45,000 school kids come in, tour the tomb every April and May. And so it's one of the big projects. And to me, I wanted to kind of dress it up, and that's what I've been working on. And every little time we get some money together, we put it together. And we also redone the original gate on 3rd Street. That was another project. And we put an arch back here that was taken away years ago. And like I say, I just hope someday we can come up with a lot of money and put the ornamental fence back around the old cemetery. I'm just trying to protect our tourism here, and I think, we've got a great person here in Abe Lincoln. It's just one of the few people that really, people over the United States and the world know Lincoln, Abe Lincoln, and I'm just glad I'm just part of where I can help preserve his generations. Just, a lot of people can talk. Talk's cheap, but I'm a man that want to get something done. If I put it into a project, I stick with it till it's done.